Hello and welcome back to Digital Assets Daily. Today we're going to get started off with Ripple pushing for $2 trillion of XRP liquidity in the correspondent banking system, says CEO Brad Garlinghouse. Ripple CEO Brad Garlinghouse says the payment startup is pushing to use the crypto asset XRP as the bedrock of the ambitious overhaul of the way money moves across borders. In a new interview on the Jay Kim Show, Garlinghouse says the current correspondent banking system, which relies in part on the need for banks and financial institutions to hold pools of money in various bank accounts around the world, is cumbersome and outdated. According to Garlinghouse, Ripple's XRP-based remittance product, On-Demand Liquidity, ODL, is designed to replace that current model in the long run. Garlinghouse says Ripple is aiming for ODL to take over $2 trillion USD of liquidity in the current system in the coming years. There is a $10 trillion pre-funded in accounts around the world, which is effectively the oil that is facilitating the engine that is correspondent banking. The oil has to be there of correspondent banking, or it will not work. Now, if we can reduce the amount of oil, that improves the efficiency of the global economy. So we feel like bit by bit, we're going to be able to take that $10 trillion down to 9 to 8. This is a journey that will take many years, but we're incredibly enthused by the progress we've made in a relatively short time. Ripple created on-demand liquidity, formerly known as XRapid, to give banks a regulatory compliant way to move money by using cryptocurrency, which leverages the speed of digital technology secured by cryptography as a bridge. The company is partnering with crypto exchanges that can accept fiat from financial institutions and send the equivalent value in XRP to a corresponding exchange overseas. Pardon me. Where it's then converted right back to fiat. Garlinghouse says Ripple's early experience with MoneyGram, which is moving 10% of its volume to Mexico through its liquidity product, is the start of Ripple's efforts to build a new financial system around XRP. We want MoneyGram to see a dollar peso quote. What happens in the plumbing of that transaction doesn't matter. At the end of the day, they just want to know the quote. And if they can get it at that price, great. Done. Click. All the customer really cares about is, I need a dollar peso quote. I need $1,000 moved into Mexican pesos, and I need to do it right now. Ripple says it plans to expand the number of corridors for ODL, beginning with Thailand and Australia next year. Next, we have Japanese conglomerate SBI injects 7-figure sum into Securitize. The investment announced Tuesday comes just 2 months after Securitize announced it had raised a combined $14 million from Santander Bank and MUFG. The exact amount injected by Sorry, let me start over here. I'm going to zoom in if you're paying attention on your screen. Make it easier for you to see it. The exact amount injected by SBI wasn't disclosed but Carlos Domingo, Securitize founder and CEO, told CoinDesk that there are 6 zeros at the end of the figure. He said his company intends to use the funds in part to build out its new Japan office, which will be open by the end of the year. We're going to do business there, and that involves not only finding customers in Japan, but also localizing the technology and making sure you know the language for the next similar types of integrations that you might be looking at, he said. Securitize already has a subsidiary set up in the country through Domingo, expects to launch with a small crew initially. In a statement, SBI Holdings CEO and President Yoshitaka Katao told his company he strongly believes in the future of digital securities, citing Securitize as one leading player in the industry. The move is part of a broader shift in Domingo's view. A few years ago, he said much of the interest around the space came primarily from those already sold on the ideas of blockchains and initial coin offerings. Now it seems there is more mature interest around security token offerings and similar tools, Domingo said. I think that the fact that SBI is putting their faith and investing in a company like us is signifying the move towards more adoption of security tokens, he says. SBI has already collaborated with a number of blockchain-related groups, including payment startup Ripple and the R3 Consortium. Katao is a member of Ripple's board of directors. My apologies, just getting the day started here for me. So I hope wherever you are in your corner of the world, you're having a beautiful morning, afternoon, or evening. Next information of news we have is Ripple-backed rental firm Omni is shutting down with Coinbase snapping up dev team, according to the report. According to a report, I'm going to also expand this if you're watching on your screen so you can see it a little bit easier too. My apologies. According to a report from TechCrunch, a company spokesperson said we'll be winding down operations at Omni and closing the platform by the end of this year. Omni has made no announcement on Twitter, however, and its blog site is not operational at press time. It was reported in October that Coinbase was in talks to acquire Omni's engineering team to further development of its educational project, Coinbase Earn. And if you do have a Coinbase account, Coinbase Earn will email you opportunities to earn different tokens, such as what are the common? You have BAT, B-A-T. You have EOS. We get many of the Stellar, and you get a few of the earn Bitcoin, etc. Take advantage of that, especially while price is low. If you do get that opportunity, I myself get those, and to be honest, I stay so busy I haven't had a chance to use them. But back into the news from their project Coinbase Earn. That news came as Omni was reportedly laying off staff as it struggled to make profits after selling its physical storage business in May, TechCrunch says. Coinbase has now taken on the dev team, according to the report, with a spokesperson saying Coinbase has reached an agreement with Omni to hire members of its engineering team. We're always looking for a top-tier engineering talent and look forward to welcoming these new team members to Coinbase. Last year, Omni raised $25 million in a funding round led by Ripple's executives Stefan Thomas and Chris Larson, who invested directly with the XRP cryptocurrency. The firm has reportedly raised $35 million USD all told. The company had started off as a kind of Uber for personal storage, collecting items from users' residences and holding them in a warehouse until needed again. Its low fees provided to be too low for a viable business, though, the report says. It then moved on to offering a platform for users to rent out items they were not using, before morphing the service again into a similar rental service for stores. But those two failed to bring in sufficient revenue, according to TechCrunch. Pardon me, I'm going to take a quick sip of hot coffee. As Brad Garlinghouse has mentioned before, obviously they were invested in this company, but as he has mentioned before, most likely only about 1% of the currencies that are out there and available are probably going to succeed, even if it's something that they are backing or invested in. Personally, there are, in my opinion, if it does not have a use case or if it does not have a product, here on this channel, if you've been around, obviously we're a new channel. This is our 7th week. We thank you. We're grateful. You guys have us up at the 200 subscriber point. Thank you very much. I'm very grateful for that. We're going to continue putting out a lot of information. My apologies for yesterday. We didn't get a video put out, but we're going to make up for that, as we always do, putting out multiple videos daily. And then we'll be back on track for you in the US based that are subscribed to this. We are getting ready for end of the month, and we are getting ready for holidays and basically preparing for end of year and Christmas. So here personally at this channel, it has been a little bit hectic, and we apologize for missing a video or two. But obviously we will make that up. Some days we put out as many as 4. So we will get back on track starting today, as we're putting out one first thing for us here this morning. And next piece of news, we have Accenture open sources blockchain integration framework as a Hyperledger lab. The growth in the number of blockchain platforms is booming. That is a good thing. Looking beyond a one-size-fits-all platform sparks new possibilities and may lead to platform innovations we have yet to imagine. But the ecosystems developing around platforms must also interact for blockchain to achieve its full potential. With the future state of interoperability as an end goal, last year Accenture announced that we developed and tested 2 solutions that allow 2 or more blockchain-enabled ecosystems to integrate. Since then, we developed a new solution specifically created for permissioned blockchains that works without a central connector node. I am happy to announce that we open sourced this new solution as Blockchain Integration Framework, a Hyperledger lab. Blockchain Integration Framework defines a communication model that lets permissioned blockchain ecosystems exchange any on-chain data or custom assets, independent of the platform. Specifically, it introduces an interoperability validator overlay network for each of the blockchain networks for which you want to exchange assets. Interoperability validators are known or broadly discoverable by the ecosystem, and typically participants already taking part in the governance or consensus. On the screen there's their little diagram explaining, so if you have time, feel free to click back on the link and further research that for yourself if you're interested. One moment. Excuse me. Interoperability validators will collectively handle export requests from local nodes by verifying against their version of the ledger. Steps 1 to 3 on the diagram. Each request is answered by a configurable minimum quorum of validator signatures. Steps 4 and 5 on the diagram. The network can continue working even if some validators are down or not participating, assuming the minimum quorum can be guaranteed. Any secure off-chain communication system can deliver messages certified by a distributed ledger's transfer validators. Step 6 on the diagram. A proof coming from a foreign distributed ledger can be verified against the public keys of the transfer validators of that foreign distributed ledger, either locally by the recipient or using on-chain logic, typically smart contracts on steps 7 and 8 of the diagram. This tutorial demonstrates how to transfer a simple asset between a Hyperledger fabric and quorum network. If you have a favorite DLT network, please consider contributing a connector. We encourage you to have a look at the source code and welcome any contributions, no matter the size. Please reach out on the Blockchain Integration Framework chat channel with any questions. The excitement for Accenture as we find them again with 2 of our favorites, bringing the link back together with XRP, or in this case possibly more so Ripple, and we have VeChain. Our other 2 favorites here on this channel we speak about are Holochain and PandyX. We have done a few other by request, but typically those 4 are what you're going to find here, as they typically integrate, and I have connected 3 of the 4 back to each other. And since they are not competing and non-competitors, it's pretty interesting, as I find in deep research, how they operate together. Final piece of news for this video is South Korea progresses bill to provide legal foundation for cryptocurrencies. I think a big part of global adoption and integration for this progression is for all of these legal clarities to be released globally as to not have conflict with governments around the world. So South Korea's National Assembly is progressing a bill that will provide a legal basis for cryptocurrencies in the country. The bill categorizes virtual currencies as digital assets and intends to bring regulatory clarity and transparency to crypto markets in South Korea. English language newspaper Korea Jungang Daily reports on November 27. According to the report, the bill was passed by the National Assembly's National Policy Committee and still needs to be approved by the Judiciary Committee. If approved, the law would come into force in 2020, the report notes. All crypto businesses will have to register with the Financial Intelligence Unit. Under the bill, all crypto-related businesses in South Korea would be required to register with the FSC and the FIU, which are Financial Services Commissions and Financial Intelligence Unit, and report to the authority. In order to be approved as a crypto firm in the country, crypto businesses will have to obtain an Information Security Management System certificate from the state-run Korea Internet and Security Agency, the report notes. The new bill aims to prevent money laundering and protect investors. The FSC stated that the legislation will make crypto markets more transparent and legitimize investment in digital assets. The authority stressed that the bill will require crypto-related businesses to prevent illicit practices such as money laundering. Additionally, crypto firms will have to adopt their own monitoring systems for financial transactions in compliance with standards by the Financial Action Task Force. Those who fail to establish their own oversight systems will be penalized, the report notes. The new bill is not the first attempt by South Korean authorities to provide an anti-money laundering AML framework. In early 2018, South Korean regulators banned anonymous trading on crypto exchanges in line with AML and identification efforts in the country. The FSC subsequently released a set of revised AML guidelines for virtual currencies in June of 2018. Pardon me. As in the crypto space, a lot of people may be frustrated with that, but those of us who came into the digital assets side of the space are going to be a little more excited because we're looking for the regulations, knowing that there will never be a crypto or a digital asset that's going to overthrow a country. So the smartest thing you can do, as Ripple has done, is to work with governments globally around the world to make sure they have regulation, and they are one of the few, if not mistaken, the only one at this time that has full fence-in and governmental regulation globally and has been following the rules. That frustrates a lot of people who thought they were going to go a little more anarchy and overthrow governments, overthrow banks, and screw the man, but that just isn't the way it works. As Ripple has seen and led by design, and they have become the standard for the digital asset space. So the news right now is very exciting. If you're an investor, you have two sides. You have the investor who is very angry, upset, disappointed. He thought he was going to put in everything he had and be rich tomorrow, but that's just not realistic in an investment space. Then you have the other investor who sees the price being low. It gives him a chance to fill his bags with more than he thought he was going to be able to have when he first came into the space. So basically one of the two categories is where people are fitting in right now, and it has the Twitter world on fire. So I think on this side, if you are a contrarian investor, this is an amazing opportunity of a lifetime for you. And that's where we preside in this channel. We're excited about this moment. We could care less if it goes down to 10 because we've done the research to know that it will lead the crypto space as the standard to be followed by every digital asset in the industry. So we're excited. Stay strong. Keep hodling. Get ready for, if you're in the US, globally, I'm not sure which holidays. My apologies that you may celebrate. But here, getting ready for Thanksgiving, Christmas, and New Year. And hoping you're having a great day. We'll catch you in the next one.